Hello guys, welcome back. And this time around we're going to talk about the movie Kung Fury. It just came out online for free. It was a movie that originally was launched a campaign on Kickstarter in December 2013. Got funded by like 17,000 people. It was funded like $630,000. And the premise of this movie, which makes a lot of fun for me, is it's based on making basically fun of the 80s, a little early 90s in there. And basically it makes fun of the movies, TV shows, just all of what the 80s was, right? I mean, the cop that would never follow the rules, had his like deep brooding voice, which didn't say a lot, kind of thing, or the ridiculous, over the top, action that made no sense, storylines that made no, very little thought or anything in storylines. It was just you had to accept that this is the way it was and kind of thing. And this movie has all that, but there's so many one-liners, and if you're around from the 80s, there's so much you could laugh at in this movie. The movie's only 30 minutes long, and it didn't need to be any longer. It actually is the perfect length because I actually loved the length of it. If it was any longer than that, I don't know if it would be as effective, quite honestly. And like all movies, of course, it left it open for a sequel in a way, but you have to watch that to find out what I'm talking about. If you want even more hilarity, down below I have a link to David Hasselhoff's music video, because he did a song for this movie. He does actually make a little appearance in it. What do you mean by the 80s? Just over the top, like a cop, the brilliant cop thing, but he wears a red bandana, and he weirdly looks kind of some ways like Ryu, and in some ways in the movie he looks like Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. Overaction, unrealistic, action, but enough for you to make fun of it. Like the fact that his partner is a triceratops called Triceracop. That the way his, I don't want to give away like the story, but again, he has to, in the trailer, if you saw the trailer for this, you know this, he's going to fight the world's greatest kung fu enemy, and that is Adolf Hitler, because he's Kung Fury, because he got struck by lightning and then bit by a cobra, and he became the chosen one, Kung Fury. That's the unrealisticness of the storyline. But in mind of me describing it, you really have to watch it, because there is so much 80s in this movie. There's so much, ridiculously but cool stuff. When you talk about hacking to time travel and stuff like that, and it reminds you of what made the 80s so fun if you're around in the 80s. And I know the 80s is kind of the point where everybody's trying to do it now and like overdo it, but in this case it was a fun way of, it merged 80s action, but there was a lot of 80s, you'd have to say, some 80s video game references in here, or things you saw, you go, hey, I know what they're trying to do here. Especially in the beginning when he fights a transforming arcade machine. It's really I had a lot of fun with it, even though I would call it a B-rated movie due to obviously the special effects and stuff. It actually is a lot of fun, and I'd highly recommend the movie. I really had a lot of fun with it. I'll put the link down below. You have to check it out if you love the 80s, or you love like the 80s, because there are, again, things from the 80s of video games in here, computers and stuff that you will absolutely love if you love it, and you must check it out. I really had a blast watching this. You have to watch it more than once to get everything, because there's so many one-liners, so many things in here that you might miss the first time. Definitely must check it out. When you have a guy who travels back in time, and then he gets back in time and there are laser raptors, right? And then that's the ridiculous of it, right? And then he gets to travel back, but before he leaves, hey, here's a way to call me or something. It's just the ridiculous of it all, which it also makes it very funny, because you look at it and you go, wow, that is so 80s, or that's so I could have seen that happening in a movie or a TV show back then, that it's funny. And it's fun to watch a movie where you don't have to, and I think it's sometimes we watch movies too much and we think too much about it, like, well, they should have done this, and this. This is one of those fun movies where you just sit back and enjoy the ride and have fun with it, and not try to overthink it, because I think sometimes if you watch movies, we overthink them too much today, or compare them to other things. And in this case, it's just a fun little, Kickstarter movie that is just about having fun and about the 80s. Anyway, love to hear your guys' opinions of it after you watch it. If you have watched it, or you're going to watch it, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it. What do you think of it? Again, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend watching it. It hits my nostalgia, 80s nostalgia of all the stuff, mashup of all the 80s stuff that I remember all in one little movie. So anyway, love to hear your guys' opinions, and I will make another video soon. Later.